You might be thinking, I don't really need to know what a wedding photo shoot is, Lauren, but just hold on a minute. You really do. Hello lovely couples and welcome back to my channel. I'm Lauren, wedding planner and owner of Bluebird Creative. I provide a weekly dose of wedding planning goodness for the modern couple. So if you haven't yet, then make sure that you subscribe to my channel and don't forget to hit the bell because then you'll be notified every week when I drop a new video. I hope you guys are having an amazing week. Congratulations if you're new here. What an exciting journey you are about to embark on, and you are most definitely in the right place. This week's video is so important, and we can all get sucked into the realms of Pinterest, which are amazing. I mean, I can really get sucked into that. It's literally like jumping into a rabbit hole, right? But you need to know how it can be misleading and how wedding photo shoots can be misleading and how to spot a wedding photo shoot as well, because you might not even realize it's a shoot and you're going to be let down. So let's just jump on in. So, wedding photo shoots. You may have landed on this particular video and you might be thinking, I don't really need to know what a wedding photo shoot is, Lauren, but just hold on a minute. You really do, because what you don't want to do is to be misled or to have expectations that actually aren't realistic. And that's sometimes what wedding photo shoots can do. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. I love a wedding photo shoot. I think they can be absolutely amazing for your brand and for building your portfolio as a planner, for networking with other people in the industry. Just want to say, let's not get confused with wedding photo shoots and brand shoots, but that is for another day. But they are amazing, yeah, for networking, for building relationships with suppliers in the industry, for pushing yourself as a creative artist in the industry, for thinking outside the box, for showcasing new trends for the year. They're just brilliant. They are absolutely brilliant. So I'm totally for them. But I think as a bride or a couple, you need to know what you are looking at and then the realities behind it. Wedding photo shoots are for suppliers to showcase what they can do. They are to try and attract their ideal client. They are for them to flex their creative muscles. What you don't want to be doing is getting confused and thinking that all of that is doable. So let's talk about why it might not be doable. And I think let's jump into the first point, really, which comes down to budget. A lot of this always comes down to budget, really, doesn't it, guys? When you are looking at a wedding shoot, you will be seeing the best of the best, the creme de la creme, okay? The piece de resistance. I can't think of any more. And you're then going to go, I love that. I'm so drawn to that. I want to replicate that. But that might not reflect your budget, or your budget might not reflect what you're looking at. They might not work together, and you're not going to know how much that photo shoot would cost in reality, but the likelihood is it's going to be at the high end, especially if it's super creative with loads of flowers and lots of beautiful high-end tableware and so on. So when you're approaching suppliers, you need to be open and honest and be ready for their feedback of actually that's going to be out of your budget, but also approaching the right suppliers that perhaps can give you suggestions of how they can adapt those ideas to fit within your budget. But if you're looking at flower arches and hoops and all sorts of like floral installations, I always go back to florals because they are heavy on Pinterest and they are what can absolutely push your budget. But they're beautiful, right? I mean, a lot of the styling of a wedding will come down to flowers. So it's just being realistic with yourself and not expecting that you can see that picture and just thinking, yeah, we can do that. Because the likelihood is that is going to be at the high end of weddings. We're looking at luxury wedding budget. And if you haven't got the luxury wedding budget, then you need to look at how can we adapt that and how can we make it more cost effective. When you're looking at a tablescape, for example, on Pinterest, if it's a photo shoot, then if it has coloured table napkins, table linens, amazing, beautiful cutlery and crockery, that is all upgraded, guys. That is not basic that's going to come with your venue. It's all upgraded. So you need to be realistic and know you're not going to get it all if you haven't got the budget to match. If you have, fantastic, you can go crazy, you can go bespoke on everything. But I want you guys to know that that all costs extra. So looking at those Pinterest inspiration, at those wedding photo shoot images, wedding photo shoot guys, not real weddings. Just be prepared that the absolute beauty that you're looking at does not come cheap. I think that's the main tip that we need to take away from that. But there's no reason why you can't pick elements of it, because you can still make something look beautiful with just a few elements. But with a photo shoot, the creators of the shoot are most likely throwing everything into the shoot. So the second thing I want you to consider, and this is where I do think shoots can become a little bit misleading, and that's when you're looking at something thinking that looks amazing and I really want that, but it's not actually doable for a real wedding. It wouldn't work. And you might not realise that if you don't have, for example, a planner on board to actually advise you. Hopefully you'll have an amazing team of suppliers, if you don't have a planner, that could actually be honest and say, that's not really going to work. But I don't want anyone getting misled from looking at a photo shoot that is there to create good photos. This is the thing, guys. People are stretching their creative muscles. They are pushing outside the box. They want to create good images to attract their ideal client. But it doesn't necessarily mean that everything is a good idea for an actual wedding. So, for example, if they are doing a tablescape that has some amazing centerpieces that are on the table but coming up high, I mean, I wouldn't choose that for a wedding, because those guests, we're talking trestle tables here, they're not going to be able to see the people on the other side of the table because they're coming up so high. But my gosh, they can make an amazing photo. So you really need to think about how realistic these things are for the actual wedding. There might be some photos of something that actually just wouldn't make a wedding flow very well, but it looks really good in a photo, or with chairs in a certain place, but actually the reality is, in real life, it wouldn't work, or it would hinder the day, but it makes a really good photo. So you just need to remember that you're looking at photos and that it is inspiration, but they can be misleading, and you need to make sure that you're just sort of thinking about it pragmatically and logistically. And I know that sounds really boring when you're looking at beautiful pictures, but I just don't want anyone getting caught out or misled. But again, if you pick the right suppliers, they will guide you and they will say, I know that looks really good, but you're not going to be able to do such and such, or your guests aren't going to be able to see each other, or you're not going to be able to hear blah, 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 or so on. So just please bear those sorts of things in mind when you're looking at photo shoot images. And finally, when you're looking at photo shoots, I just want you to bear in mind that perhaps some of the props or some of the crockery and the glassware and so on, they're not going to be available. The creatives that were involved in the photo shoot might be a company out in America and you're getting married in England, and actually we can't get hold of the beautiful gold cutlery with the pink handles. It's really hard to come by over here. So don't get your heart set on these sorts of table pieces or detailed pieces, because they might not be available in the area that you're at, or they might come at an absolute cost, which takes us back to the budget. You need to get inspiration from these images and then look at the availability near you and what the companies near you are providing, and making sure that that then works in with your budget. I'm sure you can see where I'm coming from now, is that these photos are definitely for inspiration, but I know that people have got carried away with them before and expected and hoped for one thing and then realised that actually it's not doable, it's not available, or it's not budget friendly. So you've just got to go in with an open mind and use the inspiration. You might see some wonderful chairs, but actually you just can't get hold of them over here in the UK. Or perhaps we've got something in the UK that you haven't got available in the US or in Canada or in Turkey or wherever it is that you might be based. And finally, how would you spot a shoot photo as opposed to a real wedding photo? And that's a tough one, I'll be perfectly honest. I'm trying to think of what advice I can give you that will help you spot it. And I think it's just going to be a case of finding the images will be perfect. The images will have perfect flowers and the top-notch table settings, and the couple will be perfectly posed, and they will likely look like models because they are models. Some creatives will team up with actual couples that model. Some will use actual couples, which is really nice, but most of the time they are models. So that is a good tell. Otherwise, it's just going to have everything. thrown into the shoot, and they will be beautiful. So just bear that in mind when you're looking at photographs. So to summarize, I absolutely love photo shoots for the wedding industry. I think they can do amazing things for us as businesses and also give amazing inspiration for you guys, showcase what trends are coming up. They're a fantastic tool, but just don't let them mislead you, and make sure that you're going in with an open mind. You know, when we work with our design couples, we will go through what is doable, what is not doable. And when they have their ideas, we will say, okay, yes, that's okay, but we can make it better like this, or that wouldn't work in a real wedding setting, but we can do it this way. And we actually help give our couples advice so that they can then go off and design their wedding in the right way without being misled. So don't forget, you guys can always do that with us. We do those one-to-one power hour sessions where you can literally just talk about your design and your styling. We work with everybody across the globe on those sorts of things because it is all done online, which is so amazing for everybody. So if you're struggling in your wedding design, then you literally can just get in contact and book a one-to-one call with me personally to discuss your wedding design. We've also got our wedding PDF, which you can then mood board and put everything into that PDF. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I've done a video on this, so I'll link it for you here, which is so handy. And we've had such amazing feedback from that PDF from people that have bought it, and literally all across the country that PDF is going out. I've seen people buying it from Israel, from France, from Italy, from America, from England, lots from England, obviously, because that's where we're based, but lots across the world, which has been absolutely fantastic to see that we're able to help people everywhere. So guys, I hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to check out our tools below. We've got loads of freebies for you guys to help you with your wedding planning. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I cannot wait to see you next week with some more wedding planning goodness. See you later, guys.